Bueno, bueno, hola, hola, uno, dos, uno, dos, uno, dos, tres. Hello, hello.
Hola,
Hello, how are you? Doing well?
I'm
Hola.
yes.
Good, thank you.
Hola.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome again. So this is the second class that you have today. So how was your class with your teacher, Tamara? Was it good?
Yeah.
Very fun.
Great. Lots of fun. That's okay. That's very, very good. And welcome to our second, in our case, our second class. So we're going to continue working on what we have been doing, right? Which is, in this case, working on unit 1.2, right? The one that is related to the frequency adverbs and free time activities. Good. Let me see. Let me go with this. Cool. So I'm just going to silence you all. Good. So until now, we have Valeria, Antonia, Marco, Josefa, Ignacio Pessoa, Ignacio Olmedo, Francisca Pino, Constanza, Connie Ortubia, Alan, Sofía Villalón, Sofía Pardo, Marisol, María Sofía, Iván, Francisca, David. Good. I don't know if someone is missing, but anyway, we are going to start. Just let me go here through the unit where we are. Good, that's okay. Very, very good. Great. And this is the other one. Okay, as well. Very good. So I got the video, I got the classwork. There you are. Good. Okay, so let me just remember where we are. What are we covering during these classes, right? Está Constanza again. So let me recall you what we have been covering. Today we have to continue working on this unit 1.2, in which we are going to talk about how often do we do things. That means that we are going to talk about the frequency adverbs. Okay, let me start the recording. There you are. So we are going to start talking about the frequency adverbs and some frequency expressions as well, right? And also we're going to talk and combine this with your free time activities, okay? So this is, the unit it's about this, okay? So feel free if you have any doubt, just stop me, right? I think that Constanza cannot enter. If you can tell her, Constanza Ortubia, are you in? Yeah, she's getting out. I think that she's having problems, but tell her to please try to enter through a computer or download the latest version of the app. Okay, maybe she's having problems with that. Um, Tell her if she can enter using her computer or another version of the app right on her cell phone. I know I noticed that she's having problem entering this room. Okay, so I hope she can enter. Good. So yesterday we were talking about the things that you enjoy doing during your free time. Remember that we said, well, most of you listen to music, watch anime, watch videos on Netflix or YouTube, play video games, play online using Discord, some of you. So there are many things that you can do. Then we focus on one, which is running, and we discuss about it, right? So what are the things that you can do, right? What do you need? What equipment do you need if you want to go running? Some of you mentioned that you use these bands on their wrists, the ones from Xiaomi, right? The Chinese bands, right? And other app that is the complement of this device, right? And in that way, you can, of course, record your running and then see what you do like every single day. There were some of you that really practice, are really into running, that you do that every single day. That means that you always go running. There are some others that not quite often, just rarely go running. And of course, there are the ones that do not do any sports at all. They do not like it, so they never go running. Okay. So in that case, and we finish with this, right? When this listening about a book review, right? These two ladies were talking about the author of this book, which is also a runner, right? The one that Murakami guy, right? He's a runner, and we notice in that listening that he runs to keep fit, but also to keep better in every single run that he does, and also as an inspiration, because when he is running, his ideas are coming, right? And he, of course, is thinking of what he's going to write then in his books. So he said here in this book, which is what I talk about when I talk about running, right? Now, we are going to continue working with that listening. Remember that we did a previous listening, then while listening, and now we're going to do another activity related to the same listening, but in this case, we are going to focus our attention into this, right? That is the frequency adverbs or the frequency expressions, right? So we're going to listen again into these two ladies talking, right? But now, in this case, we are going to focus our attention into completing these sentences. So you should take some notes, okay? So the idea is that you take some notes, even in your, you can do that on your mobile devices, or if you have a pen and paper, you can do it that as well. And what are we going to do? We're going to put these frequency expressions or frequency adverbs in the corresponding place. Okay, so let's go through them. It says most days. That means almost always, right? Sometimes, usually, never, often, or often. Remember that you can pronounce often in both ways. Occasionally and nearly always. And then sentences says, well, it is about getting better at something. He is worried about beating other people. See, he runs. Indeed, he thinks about the weather. Right, in the letter E, sorry, he gets an idea for a book. The F, he doesn't think about anything. And G, he listening to rock music, right? So let's try to complete this with the previous listening. So we're going to listen this again, okay? Just let me fix this because I forgot to put the I'm going to put here the audio in the right presentation, so I'm just going to do it is very, very fast. Sorry about it, because I forgot to put the listening in this. Yeah, there you are. I forgot to put the listening here in the presentation. Sorry. So I'm gonna just upload it again. Let me just stop sharing this one. So there you are. I'm just going to upload the presentation again. Sorry about it. So here you are. So this is another one. Let's go, let's go, let's go. In the meantime, be prepared. There you are. Cool. So let's resume this. Here you are. And there you are. So remember, we're going to listen again. And now you have to complete each sentence with an adverb or a frequency expression.
Audio 1.4.
Hello and welcome to Great Books of Our Time. Today, we're talking about the book What I Talk About When I Talk About Running by Japanese novelist Haruki Murakami. Here to tell us all about it is this week's reviewer, Maria Corbett. Maria, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So, Maria, what's this book about?
Well, it's about running, but it's also about Murakami's life. He talks about why running and writing are important to him.
And why is running important to him? Why does he run?
Well, it's certainly about keeping fit, but it's more than just that. For Murakami, and I suppose for many runners, it's often about getting better at something. He says he doesn't really enjoy team sports, playing soccer or baseball, because he's never worried about beating other people. He prefers to go for a run and achieve his own goals.
How did he start running?
Well, he had a jazz bar in Tokyo, but he sold it in 1982 and became a writer. At the same time, he started running, and a year later he completed a race from Athens to Marathon in Greece.
And how often does he go running?
In the book, he says he runs most days. He usually has one day off a week, but he does 36 miles every week.
Oh, that's amazing. And does he do any other sports?
Well, he does triathlons. That's swimming, cycling and running, but he likes running best. He does at least one marathon every year.
Ah, so he spends quite a lot of time on his own when he's running. Does he get lots of ideas for his books? Does he think about work?
Well, no, not really. He says he sometimes thinks about the weather and he occasionally gets an idea for a book. Actually, he says he usually doesn't think about anything. He just runs. Oh, and he nearly always listens to rock music.
So, is it okay, or shall we put it another time? What do you think? One more time?
Again, please.
Yes.
Again.
Please.
Okay, let's go for one more time. Take some notes, remember.
Audio 1.4.
Hello and welcome to Great Books of Our Time. Today, we're talking about the book What I Talk About When I Talk About Running by Japanese novelist Haruki Murakami. Here to tell us all about it is this week's reviewer, Maria Corbett. Maria, thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So, Maria, what's this book about?
Well, it's about running, but it's also about Murakami's life. He talks about why running and writing are important to him.
And why is running important to him? Why does he run?
Well, it's certainly about keeping fit, but it's more than just that. For Murakami, and I suppose for many runners, it's often about getting better at something. He says he doesn't really enjoy team sports, playing soccer or baseball, because he's never worried about beating other people. He prefers to go for a run and achieve his own goals.
How did he start running?
Well, he had a jazz bar in Tokyo, but he sold it in 1982 and became a writer. At the same time, he started running, and a year later he completed a race from Athens to Marathon in Greece.
And how often does he go running?
In the book, he says he runs most days. He usually has one day off a week, but he does 36 miles every week.
Phew, that's amazing. And does he do any other sports?
Well, he does triathlons. That's swimming, cycling and running, but he likes running best. He does at least one marathon every year.
Ah, so he spends quite a lot of time on his own when he's running. Does he get lots of ideas for his books? Does he think about work?
Well, no, not really. He says he sometimes thinks about the weather and he occasionally gets an idea for a book. Actually, he...
Oops. Sorry.
Audio 1.
It should be around...
Books.
There you are.
Does he think about work?
Well, no, not really. He says he sometimes thinks about the weather and he occasionally gets an idea for a book. Actually, he says he usually doesn't think about anything. He just runs. Oh, and he nearly always listens to rock music.
So in the last one I made a mistake, okay? It should said he listens, not listening. So my bad. That's my bad because I type it like quite fast. But it should said he listens to rock music instead of saying he listening. So shame on me. Okay, so here we are. We have listened to this. We have listened to this twice now. And of course, yesterday we also listened to this. But now we have to complete it. So what do you have? What do you have for the first one? What frequency adverb or frequency expression do you listen for the first sentence?
Often.
Often, very good. So he said it is often or often. That's why maybe you can hear both. Often, same thing. About getting better at something or getting better at something. Very good. Well done. How about the second one? He is.
Never.
Never. Very good. Excellent. He's never worried about beating other people. It's not like Michael Jackson, right? Beat it. No, he's never worried about it. Letter C. He runs.
Most days.
Excellent. Most days. Very good. So he said that he left some days off, right? Not to, of course, do or go running. Excellent. Well done. How about letter D? He.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Very good. Excellent. You got it, right? So he sometimes thinks about the weather. We mentioned that as well yesterday because, well, it depends on the weather, whether you like to run or not, to go running or not to go. So it depends on the weather. And for him, he sometimes thinks about the weather. Very good. How about letter E? He.
Occasionally.
Occasionally, yes. He occasionally gets an idea for a book. Very good. F, he doesn't. He doesn't. Usually. Excellent. Well done. Very good. He doesn't usually think about anything, right? He doesn't usually think about anything. Remember why it's anything and not nothing? Who can tell me that? Why is it anything and not nothing? Maybe you know. I know you know.
Because anything is like cualquier cosa and nothing is zero. There's nothing.
Close, but not quite. Give it a try. Give it another try. I know you can. It's very simple. It's very simple, right? Remember that you can use anything in negative sentences, right? And questions. And this is a negative sentence. That's why you have to use anything. If you use nothing, it could be like double negative. So a double negative is affirmative, right? That's why you have to use anything, which is used in negative sentences and also in questions. Okay, so don't forget it.
It's not like in Spanish, but I think it's que supongo que está mal dicho, así como cuando uno dice no he hecho nada.
Ah, claro, exacto.
Es como redundante.
Ajá, correcto, por eso mismo. Well done, bien ahí. And last but not least, remember that I made a mistake there. It's not listening, it's listens, right? He listens to rock music. So how was it? What is there? Nearly always. Excellent. So you made a very good job. An applause to you. Well done. It was a very difficult listening, right? It's a bit longer, 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half, right? And you have to put lots of attention because there are some words that were quite tricky that maybe you couldn't hear very well, but you made an excellent job. Congratulations. Next one. So now we have these percentages for you to focus on it. And what do we have here? The famous, the ones and only, right? The one and only frequency adverbs and frequency expressions. It says pair word, but we are going to do it as a group. And it says add the adverbs and the frequency expressions to the table from, of course, we have the one in the top, right? Which is always, like always Coca-Cola, right? There was a TV spot many years ago that uses always, and maybe you saw it on TV or watch it on TV. It's about always, this frequency adverb that means in Spanish siempre. That TV spot says always Coca-Cola. In Chile it was siempre Coca-Cola, always Coca-Cola, right? And it's at the top because it's 100% of the time. So it's something that you do every single day, every single week, every single month, etc. For example, taking a shower. For us people in Latin America and in Chile in general, we always take a shower in the morning, right? We are not Europeans. And yeah, that's true. Europeans do not get a shower every day, right? They get showers. They sometimes get a shower. So that's disgusting. But for us in Latin America, in Chile in particular, I think that we always take a shower. Okay, so always means 100% of the times. Of course, then it goes. So we go to the bottom of this table, and of course, what do we have? The very opposite of the 100. We have the 0, the nothing. So what do you think is going to go there? Which one is going to be number 12 for us?
Mr.
Yep.
In both of our classmates, two of our classmates are having problems with the class song.
Okay.
I mean, one doesn't hear you, and the other the presentation is stop showing in the screen. So for you to know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. Anyway, I'm recording this, so if they cannot hear me, maybe they're going to hear me in the recording, or just let me see if I can set this again. So I'm activating my sound again, then try to tell your classmates if they are having problems to re-enter the meeting, right? So if you're having problems, try to re-enter, try to use another session of your, in this case, web browsers, right? Try to enter using your computer, not your cell phone, okay? So give it a try.
Thanks.
Cool, thank you. So again, so we have the complete opposite. I heard that someone said it, which is
I said
opposite
never.
of, that's it, Ian. Very good. So never is the completely opposite to, in this case, always. But we have the ones that are in the middle. So how about number two? What do you think is number two and number three, which are in the same position from the expressions that you have there? So you have two boxes there, every now and then, rarely, hardly ever, once or twice. So remember that once is una vez, twice more than one, right? Then you have three times, four times, five, etc. But once, una, twice, dos, and with the expressions a day, a week, a month, a year, etc. So which ones goes in number two and number three, according to the ones that you have there?
Maybe nearly always.
Yes, that's it. Good. Very good. Nearly always could be number two or three. And how about number three? How about the next one? How about number? Sorry? Again? Most?
Most days.
Most
Very
days.
good. Most days. Yes, most days and nearly always means exactly the same, right? They are like this 95% of the times. It's nearly always, it's not always, right? You can live a day or a couple of hours off, like the runner in this case. He left a day off, right? He runs 6 out of 7 days. Good. How about number four? What do you think it could be in number four, which is about 80% or 90% of the times?
Maybe every now and then.
Every now and then. Are you sure?
I think that's more like
Occasional?
a 50-50.
Yeah. Every now and then should be lower in the table. So which one do you think it is there? Number
Usually.
four.
Usually?
Usually. Usually it is. It is. Usually, yes. Usually is about 90% of the times. It's very close to always. So it should be there. Very good. Very good. How about number five? Continues being a frequency
Often?
adverb. Often. Excellent. Yes, it is. Number five is often, the famous a menudo in Spanish, right? It's about 80%, 85% of the times. Very good. How about in which number are we? In number six. We are in number six right now. So it should be.
Occasionally.
Occasionally it's in nine. It's in number nine. It's that.
Sometimes?
It is. It is sometimes. Very good. Sometimes el famoso a veces, right? Which is, it could be like 50% or a bit lower than 50%. It's like 45, 50% is just right there. And the words that are similar to occasionally, which is there in number nine, that should be occasionally. I think that someone mentioned it before. Some of them that are similar. So which ones go there?
Every now and then.
Every now and then, yes, every now and then is similar to occasionally and
once or twice a day.
excellent. Yes, that's it. Very good. And once or twice a day, a week, a month. Very good. That means occasionally, it's the same word.
But
Every now and then. Yes, sir.
o sea, once or twice,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so different between a day and a week and a month. Month sounds like there's no number but 13.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
It's
I
like
know.
too much.
I can see your point, right? It's like, but you do that like every once a month. So
Mm.
every just once a month. It's like you never do that, right? That's why it depends on the length. So you're talking about activities that you do over a month, over a year, over a week, over a day. So it's going to depend. Yeah, I got your point. Yeah. So it could be tricky, but what they mean is like they are lower in the table. Yeah, that's why they're just frequency expressions in this case. But yeah, got a point. Good one. How about number 10 and 11? What do you think? These are almost never. They're
Rarely.
rarely, yes. Rarely is like, yeah, not really often, not really occasionally. It's rarely, it's like almost never, right? And finally, hardly ever. Those are very common uses. And the famous hardly ever is to notice that you're not, I mean, you do it, but it's not never. Okay, it's like just once in, I don't know, in a year. So it could be like that, right? It's rarely. That's why it's like, I don't know, 5% of the time, 10% of the times, etc. So this is a list, a small list of frequency adverbs and frequency expressions. Of course, it doesn't mean that you have to use them all, right? Because there are some of them that we maybe used every single time, and those are the most common ones, like always, usually, sometimes, often, never, and hardly ever. I think that those are the ones that we use the most from that list. But there are certain things that we have to keep in mind and deals with this, with the rules, the famous rules of this, in this case, uh, grammar rules related to the present simple, right, that you have been working with Miss Tamara, and also the adverbs of frequency or frequency expressions. We have to remember a few things before. Remember that when we used the simple present, we talk about our habits, our routines, the things that we do every single day, right? And then we enter with our daily routines or the frequency that we do certain activities like our free time activities or our routines, right? You may say that I sometimes have breakfast, for example. I can say just I have breakfast, but if I want to add a frequency, I said, well, I sometimes, I never, I always, right? Or if you just want to mention, well, from the number of the days of the week, you may say just the number. I have breakfast 3 times a week. Right? So that is another expression, right? Once, twice. So those are frequency expressions. That is the meaning of this frequency expressions or frequency adverbs, right? To talk about, right? How often we do those things, right? And we have certain rules that we must follow, right? And these are the followings, and you're going to help me with this, right? Because we have them here, but the idea is that you help me to complete them, right? So we have, for example, in the first one, an adverb of frequency usually goes after or before the main verb. We have an example. It says he nearly always listens to rock music. So where do we have to put the adverb of frequency? After or before the main verb? Where? After or before?
Before?
Before.
Before. Very good, guys. Excellent. Before. In this case, the adverb of frequency, right, usually goes after, sorry, before the main verb. Before the main verb, right? There's an
Like you
exception.
just said, usually,
Yeah,
usually.
it usually goes. There you are. So you got it. Good. Excellent. How about the second one? An adverb of frequency usually goes after or before the verb be. After or before the verb be. Take a look at the sentence.
After?
After.
After.
It goes
After.
after. Yes. So the frequency adverbs with most of the verbs of the simple present, right, goes before. So I always listen to music. I never play video games. I sometimes go to the mall, right? But if I'm talking using the verb be, the famous I am, you are, he is, etc., it goes after, right? So you said he is never worried about beating other people. He is always late to classes, right? You have to use it after the verb be in that case, but before the other verbs from the, in this case, present simple, right? And finally, an adverb of frequency, it says, usually goes after or before the auxiliary verb. That could be, remember, in the simple present, do or does in negative sentences. So it says, he doesn't usually think about anything. So that's easy.
After.
That's
After.
after. Very good. So you got it. Excellent. So finally, frequency expressions can go at the beginning or end of a sentence. Sorry, that is for frequency expressions, not frequency adverbs. Okay, you may say, for example, most days he runs, or he runs most days, even though it sounds a bit better at the end of the sentence. There is also another exception with the use of sometimes, okay? But it's not very common. Sometimes can also be before the main subject, right? You may say, sometimes I go to the mall, right? With sometimes you can do that. It is allowed, okay? So you can do it, right? Now, we are going to do our first breakout room activity. Okay, we're going to work in groups. What do you have to do? It's a paired work, but we are going to be allowed to work in more than just one classmate. So the idea is that you download the document that is in the Google Classroom, right? I have just uploaded a couple of minutes before the class. It is in the classwork option, the tab that says classwork. Then you have to go to resources, right? And in resources, you have one PDF file that is called present simple and FA. That means frequency adverbs, right? This PDF file, sorry, I'm going to admit it here. This PDF file, let me show you. And then there you are. This is the PDF file that you are going to see. I don't know if you're watching that. This one. Okay, it has the rules that we have just figured out, right? The ones that you have just seen and we have discussed. But there are also exercises, right? So you're gonna have a couple of minutes to work with your classmate, right, in this breakout room, and you have to complete the exercises 1, 2, and 3 that are there on the list, okay, in this website. You have the rules here on the left, and you have the exercises on the right. So you're gonna practice this with your classmates, okay? So let's go now to the breakout room. You're gonna have like 8 minutes to do this. So it's gonna be a couple of minutes to do it. If you cannot enter the, of course, the room, no need to worry. You can do it. You can do this on your own as well. Okay. So let's go now to the breakout rooms. Download the document from the classroom. So it's 11:55 at 12 with 3 minutes. So yeah, just 5 to 8 minutes to complete this activity.
Hola. Hola.
Sí, sí,
Sí.
está bien.
Empecemos el tiempo.
Dale.
Melissa, cállate. Estoy en clase. I'm so sorry.
It's fine, don't worry.
Ya. La primera. De la primera.
Sería always.
Oh. No, pero esa ya está lista.
Ah, verdad. Entonces la segunda de la primera.
La primera, sorry.
Sería sometimes, porque no es siempre.
Claro. It sometimes rains. ¿Qué dicen los demás?
¿Qué opinan los compañeros?
Oh, usually. ¿Sí?
Yes, it's great, it's good.
Okay.
La otra sería
hardly ever.
Hardly ever, sí. La cuarta. Nearly always, sí.
No existe la otra, ¿sí? Ay.
La 4. La 5 sería occasionally, porque dice que le gustan.
Claro. Sí, igual pienso que es occasional.
¿Qué opinan de la 6? Yo creo que sometimes.
Y el every now and then, ¿no?
¿Cuándo?
¿Cómo?
El every now and then, ¿no?
Pero es que no está como opción, pues.
Ah.
Solo las que
Son
te doy.
opciones. Often o sometimes. Y yo creo que es, porque dice,
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yo creo porque often es como de repente, así es
Sí.
como de
Pero es
repente,
más
casi
frecuente
nunca.
que sometimes, pues.
¿cómo?
Que often es más frecuente que sometimes, entonces dice que la mayoría de los días no lo hacen, entonces sería algunas veces, ¿no?
Ujú. Um, every now and then.
Sí, concuerdo.
Hay que hacer todas, ¿cierto?
Sí,
Las dos.
hay que hacer los tradings, parece.
Aquí hay que hacer de nuevo la
La
oración.
pregunta, en negativo. ¿Es que es pregunta o en negativo positivo?
Sí.
Siguiendo las reglas el orden de...
Entonces sería my parent was- Oh, no sé.
Es que acuérdate que va después del verb to be, po. Entonces sería my parents
Doesn't of
of, sería doesn't often go on Facebook, po, porque acuérdate que va después del
sí.
verbo to be
Yeah.
cuando está en negación. Así que,
I, eh,
oye, que escriben rápido. Con
yo
lápiz. La 3 sería
I, pero es en positivo. Entonces se cambiaría el never.
I always, porque es el negativo, po. I always do
O se cambia
karate.
el adverbio de frecuencia, el cosas.
Se cambia el adverbio de frecuencia por always, que eso supongo que es el más contrario a
Sí.
un porcentaje. Ya, entonces sería I always do karate.
Mm,
Ah, la 4 es una pregunta.
Sí, hay que
Sería
poner el those primero,
does,
sí, eso mismo.
does his brother occasionally y ahí el resto.
sí. Mm,
La otra sería
es negativo.
entonces sería Katy doesn't usually.
Sí, creo que sí.
¿Qué dicen los compañeros?
Yes, it's great.
Ok.
Ignacio, ¿qué pensáis?
Doesn't.
It's great. Ay. ¿Cómo?
No, cachao. Espera, déjale leerlo. Sandra nice. Se cambia el sometimes.
Ah.
Porque es negativo.
Sí,
Pero ¿por cuál la cambiarían ustedes?
Pues es que en el de arriba, en el 5, también se cambiaría el usually, ¿o no? Pero le pusimos doesn't.
No, porque esa es negación.
Mm,
Pero es negativo, así que no van a... Sería rarely a lo mejor, o hardly ever.
¿Se va a acabar ya?
Ah, no caché, que estaba mirando el PowerPoint de no todo.
Good, very good.
Mister.
So how was it? Was it difficult?
I think you gave us nearly not time to do the
That
activity.
wasn't enough
Not
time.
enough time.
Not enough time.
No alcanzamos.
No.
So it was too fast for you. Okay. I just gave you like 5 minutes, right? So it's a bit
Okay.
a bit short. Yeah. Sorry about it. So let's do it all together. Let's take a look. Let's try to do it all together, and you're just going to tell me what do you have, right? So let me just go with this a bit bigger. There you are. So remember that here on the left you have all the description to the things that we were just talking, right? So you have the frequency, low frequency adverbs. You have them in the categories there, and on the right you have the exercises, right? So in the first one you have to circle every single option that you have there. Just gonna go there and start reading, and you tell me what do you have. The first one is done for you, and it says circle the best option. Remember, the best one. So in the first one says I need music when I run, so I always take my MP3 player with me. Oh, so old. MP3 player. We don't use it. We don't use them anymore. We go with our cell phone and Spotify, right? Because we do not use MP3 players anymore. Good. How about number two? Number two, it says it rains when we go camping, but not often.
Sometimes.
Very good. Yeah, you have the keyword not often, right? So it cannot be usually, right? Good. So it sometimes rains when we go camping, but not often. How about number three? My doctor is angry because
I hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
excellent. You got it, right? That's why he's angry. Angry means enojado, not hungry. Don't forget. Don't forget. It's angry, not hungry. Okay? Angry because I hardly ever do exercise. Good. In number four says Paul
Nearly always.
swims in the sea if the weather is nice. Got it. Well done. If the weather is nice, si está bonito el día, he nearly always swims in the sea. Good. Number five. I.
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
It says I occasionally go to a large sports events. I quite like them. Yes. Good. And these large sports events are football, basketball, those ones. Which number are we? Number six. We
Sometimes.
sometimes have a coffee, yes, after we go to the gym, but most days we don't. And last but not least, number seven, we are not really into computer games, but we play them
Every now and
Every
then.
now and then.
Amazing job. Yes, very good. Well done. Very good. So you got it. Every now and then was the last one. In the second part, right, what you have to do is you have to make questions or statements in the positive or negative form, right? So you have to take a look at the end of the sentence. And of course, you have the first one says, James be nearly always at the gym. This is just transformation, so it's not that difficult. Remember, you just have to remember the rules that you have on the left, right? In the first one, it says, my parents. So it's a negative sentence. If it's a negative sentence, what do you have to use? Doesn't, are you sure? Could be doesn't.
Don't because it's plural.
Yes.
Parents.
Yes, because it says my parents. As you have my parents, that means you can replace my parents with they, right? So they don't, because it's a negative sentence. We know that after that you have to use the, in this case, the frequency adverb, which is often. So my parents don't often, and then you have to use the verb, go on Facebook. And that's it. It's like you right now, right? Nobody uses Facebook anymore. In the second one, it's an affirmative sentence. So it says I. Very difficult.
Always.
No, you have to use the same sentence. So it is I never do karate. And that's it. Very difficult. No,
I
it's
don't
just
get
that.
it. This is confusing.
No, you just have to make the sentence and take a look at the end. So it is an affirmative sentence. It's not that you have to change it, okay? It means that the sentence, it's an affirmative sentence.
But it says affirmative, no positive. That
That's why,
confused me.
yeah, that's the confusing, the sign, right? Because of the sign. Yeah, that's why it's confusing. But yeah, you have to use the same. So if you want to change it into an affirmative, yeah, the opposite to never should be always. But it's okay. The thing is that it doesn't change the order. So you have to use the subject, then in this case, the frequency adverb, which is never or always, right? And then the verb and the action, which is do karate. Good. Then it's a question. It is a question.
Would it be does his brother occasionally?
Sure. Yes. Yes, it is. Because you have to put the auxiliary before the subject. Before the subject. So in this case, it does because it says his brother. Good. So does his brother occasionally play cards in the evening? And remember the intonation. Well done. How about number 5? And I think that we're going to finish just there.
Katy doesn't usually.
Good. Take a look. It says the verb be, right? So the verb be changes into 3 forms in the present, which is am, is, or are. So in this case, it says Katie. So as it says Katie, Katie is a she. She goes with
Is.
That's it. So it should be is. Katie is. And then
Is doesn't.
it doesn't. Almost. It is a negative sentence. But remember that the verb be has its own rules. Okay? The verb be does not use the auxiliary do or does. In this case, don't or doesn't to create the negative, right?
Would it be
Yes. In this case, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing and it's connected to the computer. So in this case, as it is a negative sentence and you have to use the verb be, you have to use is plus not, which is also translated into isn't. So it should be Katie isn't usually keen on watching basketball. By the way, what is the meaning of keen on? We can replace it by another verb. Which one is it? No? Interested in. interested in. It's the same as keen on, okay? So that is something to keep in mind. But remember, when you have this kind of exercises in which it says be and it says a negative, don't forget that be has its own rules, and they have a structure of negative that is the verb be plus not, in this case is, because it's a she, right? And it is Katie isn't, right? In that case. The other ones, I think that they are just the same thing, so not a big thing about it. And the last one, it says, rewrite the underlined sentences. We're just going to skip it. You can do it on your own, but remember to use these expressions and frequency adverbs that are here between parentheses. So let's continue. Let's go now to the presentation. Just let me stop sharing this and let me upload again. It should be here. It's not here. Anyway, I'm gonna go there, upload again and again. I think I have uploaded this document like 3 times. Now we are going to play quizzes. Have you ever played quizzes before? No?
We're gonna play Kahoot.
Yeah, it's the same thing as Kahoot. Yes.
Let's go.
Same thing. The only difference with Kahoot is that in quizzes, you don't have to take a look at my screen. Everything is going to be in your screens. Okay, it's going to be in your computers, in your browsers, or your devices. You can also download the app. It's quizzes.com, and it should be here. There you are, the link. Let me just go to the link. I'm going to open it on my computer. It should be here. I'm going to open this one. It is not necessary for you to type that, okay? Because it's a quite long address. I'm just going to show you the screen so you can go there and enter. You should go to joinmyquiz.com on your devices, on your screens, okay? Joinmyquiz.com. It's gonna be a very, very easy and short task. Okay, I'm just going to present this. Let me go. There you are. Okay, you're seeing this now on your devices, on your screens. You should go to joinmyquiz.com, and you are going to be asked for a class code, a join code. In this case, it's 00763. Okay, so you should go to joinmyquiz.com, then enter the class code, which is 007632. Bien, ahí están. There you are, appearing. Excellent. Very good, very good. Just going to take my... So remember, joinmyquiz.com. Remember that all the options are going to appear on your screens. Okay? And of course, that the faster is the better. So you can get more points.
The code. I need the code.
No.
Please.
Sorry. 007632. Sorry about it.
Teacher, I'm gonna miss the activity because I'm helping my grandmother. Is that okay?
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good, Ivancito. Is it okay? Shall we? Constanza, I think that there are a couple of you missing. We are. You can always enter to the competition. So shall we? We're gonna start, okay? I'm gonna wait for a couple more. Okay. Good. 3, 2, 1. Let's start. Sounds super fast. Ooh, be careful. This is changing very fast. Well done, very good. This is a fight. Second and third places are changing very, very fast. The first one, Olmedo is keeping. Ooh, someone is getting closer. Watch out, watch out. Ian goes to the top. Oof, Josefa, Olmedo again. This is a fight, this is a battle. Marco and Francisca, I think that you couldn't play. Just going to remove you so you don't have like any points at all. Sorry. There are some people that already finished. Ooh, Anto goes to the third place. Olmedo, what happened? Marisol is at the top now. Fran is second. Olmedo is going down and down. Maria Sofia now to the top 4. Good. Vamos, Sofia. Vamos, David. Let's see how it goes at the bottom. You're the latest ones. Come on, you can do it. Let's go, David. Sofia, vamos. You can do it. You can do it.
I don't know what happened. I just missed one, and now I'm 8th.
It's just because of the speed. You were not as fast as your classmates.
But I was first like 7 times. I don't know.
You should be faster. Come on, Sophia. Come on. Both Sophias. So Sophia, it's like one question. Okay, the last one. Come on. Come on. Sophia and Ignacio, you are you are the last one. Bien, Sophia. Congratulations to everyone. There you are. Congratulations, Marisol, Fran, y Marco. Very good. So an 89% of accuracy. Good. Well done. Excellent, guys. That was great, wasn't it? So you see, the difference with, in this case, Kahoot is that you have everything on your screens all the time. So, but it's kind of the same thing, okay? So well done. 89% of accuracy for the group, okay? So it's okay. It is on the mark list, okay? So we are almost at the end of this class, right? Almost at the end of our class of today. But before we leave, right, I would like to tell you just a couple of things because we have to kind of give you some homework for you to do, okay? So what is missing from now is that we have to focus now on the free time activities, right? So what are you going to do is the following, okay? This is going to be your homework, okay? Just let me this to open. So what are you gonna do? You can do it on your own, and you can do it with your classmates. If you have a group on WhatsApp, I think that it's okay, and it's better for you to start working together with someone else, okay? Don't work on your own on this, right? So what are you gonna do? You're gonna do the following, okay? You're gonna take a look at this presentation and also the page number. Let me see. Let me go to the PDF file. So you're also going to go to page number 9 from Unit 1, right? That deals with free time activities. What you will have to do is to first try to do this on your own. Try to do a brainstorm of as many words as you can remember related to free time activities. Here you are some in the pictures that can help you. For example, walk your dog, right? Go, for example, walk your dog, play the guitar, right? Go for a walk, chat to someone, right? Play, I don't know, play music while you are skateboarding, right? Etc., etc., etc. So play football, go camping, etc. Lots of activities that you can do in your free time. Try to do a brainstorm of that first. So that is the first thing that you will have to do. Then, with those activities that you have just mentioned, that you have just done, you're going to take a look at a video, right, that I have just put on the presentation that is going to be available on the classroom that deals with these 3 verbs that goes to each of those activities. Those verbs are play, do, or go. You're going to see that there is a difference with those activities. For example, when do you have to use play? When do you have to use do? Or when do you have to use go? I can tell you that with some examples. For example, you play football, you play basketball, you play tennis. What do they have in common?
They are sports.
Okay, but they have something else in common.
Activities.
Yeah, but they have
They have a
also
ball.
The
they
ball,
have a ball activity,
just
right?
like soccer. Yes.
Yes, you play soccer, you play football, you
No,
play
I don't play soccer. I like watch it, but I am just so bad. So I just watch it.
It's okay, good. But remember, you use play with those activities because those are mostly collective games and that you play them with a ball, right? So there are certain rules. You do, for
Mister,
example, you do yoga, you do Pilates, you do karate. What do they have in common?
um, physics,
Flexibility
flexibility.
could be, but also that most of the time those are made indoors. Okay, so you make them and you use the verb do, and also you have go. So you go skateboarding, you go cycling, you go running, you go climbing. So what do you have in common with those?
Physical activities,
Physical
or
activities.
you
You go
have
outside of your house.
You need
Okay,
to
could
go
be.
out of house.
Yes, and those activities always are with the ing form. Go running, go cycling,
and
go
go for a
skate.
walk.
Ah, that's an exception, right? So yeah, but you are right. Good. Go for a walk. Right. Good. That's an exception. But the general rule
Or
is our go to, right? Go to a place, go to the stadium, go to the movies, right? It's also another exception. But in most cases, for the activities that you do with the ing form. So you got it, bien, Ignacio. Ahí.
and another that, for example, go, it's a lot of exception. So like go for a snack,
Yeah, yeah. Go to a restaurant. So it should be in that option, the ones that go
uh,
to, right?
or
Go
play,
to
how
place.
how you
Yes.
say it. It's not like always is
Ah, for sure.
like
Yeah, no, no,
always
no.
with a ball. Like play the guitar, for example.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There are exceptions, of course there are. But in general, this is just in general terms. So if you're talking, and that's the general rule, that's why you have to take it just as a general rule and not the main rule. Okay, it's not like it's going to be always the same. Okay, so this is going to help you because there are certain activities that you, when you talk, you have to use these verbs and these free time activities or activities that you can do outside the classroom environment or the work, right? Those are the free time activities. Most cases you use these three verbs to, of course, mention them, okay? And in the in the unit, so you have to do and classify them. In exercise 9A, you will have to classify them. These activities, first you will have to, let me see if you can see it. Just let me share with you the website in this case, because I have it here on my edge. So here, right, you will have to, first of all, put the names. Remember that you're going to do a brainstorm first. Then you are going to classify them according to them, to play, do, and go. And of course, for next class, so we're going to start with this exercise 10A. We're going to focus the first minutes of our class on this, okay? On this exercise, which is exercise 10, in which you have to tell what are the activities that you usually do on your own, you usually do with other people, people do outdoors, etc., etc., etc. So we are also going to combine this with the frequency adverbs, and we are going to work on exercise 11A, answering how often you do or you play or you go, right, with these activities that are at the top. Okay, so I'm going to, so the idea is that you do this. I'm going to upload the presentation and also the recording of this class, and I'm also going to upload for you the workbook part of this unit, okay, of the unit number 1. I think that I'm going to focus on 1.2, which is the things that we have been covering, okay? So try to practice with a classmate. Remember to do your groups, right, on WhatsApp or Telegram, or I don't know which app you are using, but try not to work on your own. Try to work always with someone else. You have the list of your classmates. You can contact them. Organize yourself, work with someone, and try to study again with that someone. Try to practice. There's a lot of work to do. We're just starting. So thank you very much for coming, right? And see you next class. Okay, so class, you are dismissed. Thank you very much. Hope to see you next week. And well, thank you again.
Thanks, Mr.
Yes.
Thank you.
One last thing, and we just have 3 homeworks, and the activities from present simple, the brainstorm,
yeah,
and the page 9A. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Very good.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome. Nice to see you again. Hope to see you next week. Have a really nice week. And see you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.
You too.
And
Thank
weekend.
you. You again.